Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's a Monday, and that means tonight, actually today, was Monday Night Raw. It was an early one because they were in Torino, Italy. Excuse me, I'm just trying to get the live chat to come up, because if you were watching during the starting soon, had a little bit of a glitch, and the chat went away because the stream glitched out for me, but we're good now. Torino, Italy, WWE Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a solid show. I mean, it's crazy how much better Raw is than SmackDown. Now, I get it, they have different head writers, but they're still the same guy in charge of both shows, booking both shows. It's just so weird. Also, I do have to be corrected. Apparently, last week was not the final 3-hour SmackDown for 2026. Even though the Braun Strowman, Everything on the Menu show does start this Friday, they're still going 3 hours for another couple of weeks. So the Braun Strowman show is going to be starting at 11 Eastern. Crazy. Well, 11 o'clock, whenever SmackDown's over, depending where you're at or whatever. So, yeah, that show's starting late. They're really putting that show in a bind. Granted, it's going to come after SmackDown. SmackDown does decent numbers, but it's going to come after a 3-hour SmackDown. So, yeah, we still have a couple more weeks of 3-hour SmackDowns. I do stand corrected. I just assumed, and I assumed wrong, that since the Strowman show was coming this week, June 5th, we got no more 3-hour SmackDowns for the time being, but we'll have to live with it. Daria Bennett, yes, happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to you guys. With that, just looking at the chat here really quick. So, as far as Raw does go, we did have the opening of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Obafemi did advance, as I predicted. Io Sky did advance, as I predicted. And yeah, not much else of note, to be completely honest, other than, Seth basically made it known that if he wins the tournament, he's coming after Roman. And then speaking of Roman, we'll talk about that because it's the opening segment of the show. Jacob did fall in line. Jacob did acknowledge. So we got that. We did get that. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for 4 games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Help us out over there by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos, when we go live, and when we post to the community tab. Also, remember to hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get access to our graphics packages, early access to our graphics tutorials, a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis, and more. You can also get all that at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Also, it is hot as hell today. I think this is our first over 100 degree day here in the Tulsa area. So, yeah, got the AC going in the house, and it's still 80 degrees. I got that thing cranked down to like 65. It is still 80 in here, and I got the fan going, so get myself hydrated, even though I should be drinking water. Also, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. They're buying a new game, they're buying an old game, they're claiming a free game, or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys. Use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. I know that there are some exclusive things you can get cosmetic-wise for 007 First Light if you buy on the Epic Game Store. If you do, put in our code. Also, a new season of Fortnite drops at the end of this week. So when you get in the V-Bucks to buy that Battle Pass, again, code PWU NLIMITED. That's PWU NLIMITED. Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. With that, Raw does kick off with a recap of everything that took place at the PLE Clash in Italy. And my eye is watering and bugging the crap out of me. We get a big recap. Michael Cole and Corey Graves welcomes us to Raw. And then, the OTC and the Usos show up to the building. They walk out of their SUV and they go immediately straight down to the ring. Crowd is singing Roman's name. Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns, Roman Reigns. And every time he goes to say something, they sing even louder, so then he just stops and listens. And I was at the point where I'm like, okay, it's going a little long. It's going a little long. And it maybe went just a smidge longer than I think it should have. He played it up just a little long. And that's just my opinion. Maybe other people thought it was the right amount of time. Maybe he thought it was the right amount of time. He must have thought it was the right amount of time because they eventually did cut him off. He was like, all right. Torino, Italy. And they popped again big. You said our city. Acknowledge me. They pop again for Roman Reigns. Usos standing behind him. Commentary discussed whether or not Jacob would actually fall in line tonight like he was supposed to before and didn't. Well, Jacob is called out, basically. Jacob shows up after Jey Uso demanded him come out and took his time to come down to the ring. He came down and immediately looked at Jey. There's something there. Jey, I guess you could say, trying to boss Jacob around a little bit. Jacob's not liking that. Reigns demanded that Fatu acknowledge him already, because what's today? It's acknowledgement day. Fatu approached Jey first. He goes, hey, whoa. Jacob, I'm over here. Fatu approached Reigns and knew that what he was getting into. He said, I knew it was going to happen. I knew what I was going to do if I walked out of Clash in Italy with that belt. And I knew it was going to happen if I lost. Speaking of lost, Roman, I acknowledge you. And he then said, last night, I lost to my tribal chief. And looked over at Jey and said, but I didn't lose your punk ass, Jey. So there's something. There's these two don't like each other, Jey and Jacob. That's for certain. So he kneeled and extended a hand as Roman took it, saying, quote, you don't understand this right now, Jacob, but I love you. Jimmy said that this was a warning to the locker room that they're all united because everyone else are the twos and we are the ones. And so, like, he's saying this, and Jacob's standing behind Jimmy with this look on his face where I thought he was going to beat his ass. I'm like, oh, he's going to turn. Oh, he's going to attack Jimmy. Oh, nope. He just stands behind Jimmy and finger up. Finger up. He acknowledged. Roman gets out of the ring. They all walk down. Jacob's kind of slowly in the back. Jay's like, let's go. Come on, let's go. And Jacob's just like not wanting to hear from Jey. They all stop at the top of the ramp. Roman pulls up the ones. The other three throw up the ones. And there we go. So Jacob Fatu does actually acknowledge Roman Reigns and fall in line with his tribal chief. We'll see what that means. Something's going to happen with Jey and Jacob. Because Jey tries to boss Jacob around, it feels like, and maybe I'm overlooking things or looked into do a little too much. But to me, it feels like Jey is trying to boss Jacob around, and Jacob ain't having that. He knows that he's got to listen to Roman. Doesn't have to listen to Jey. As he said, quote, last night, I lost to my tribal chief, but I didn't lose to your punk ass, Jey. So then, and this was great that they did this, Michael Cole and Corey Graves told us that following tonight's broadcast of Raw, don't change anything. Don't turn off your Netflix stream because it will immediately go into a replay of Mask versus Mask, El Grande Americano versus OG El Grande Americano. So they're showing that match on Netflix basically during the Raw broadcast. And that was like an extra hour if you wanted to watch it from start to finish, from the first entrances to the whole end. And it's very, very, very much worth it. It is very worth it. If you did not watch Mask versus Mask on YouTube, AAA's Grande del Noche, so however you say it, go watch it. It is one of the best hyped up, presented, and just overall done matches I've seen in forever. They made it feel like a big deal going into it. They made it feel like a big deal the night of, hyping it up and recapping everything. So, like, nothing felt like, oh, why'd they do that? Who's that person? Why'd that person show up? Even Pepe, or however you say it. Pepe showing up, they recapped, that Chad Gable, OG Americano, was rude to her, and fucked with her. So they talked about the girlfriend of Kaiser El Grande. And so, yeah, very awesome, very cool. I loved it, and it was cool to see that they aired it on Netflix tonight or today after the Raw broadcast portion. Like, literally, if you go to watch Raw, it's just right there at the end of Raw. Raw doesn't stop. It just goes literally. Like, you'll get the thing at the end of Raw where it's got the names, produced by, and then it goes straight into AAA's main event. And it was so good. Highly recommend it. Can't recommend it more. You know what else was good? The way they made Obafemi tonight look like a monster. We had the first round match, the first match of the entire 2026 King of the Ring tournament. It was Penta, Obafemi, Solo Sikoa, and Carmelo Hayes. Now, I got to say something. They've made some changes to the first round of the King of the Ring tournament, and I don't know why. Tala Tonga is out, being replaced with Sami Zayn. Ricky Saints is out, being replaced with Royce Keys, who was already in the tournament, but being moved into the Ricky Saints spot. And in the old original Royce Keys spot, Drew McIntyre has been added. So they've added Sammy and Drew. They've taken out Tala Tonga and Ricky Saints. No real reason given either. Just on the website, we noticed the graphics have been changed. So have no idea why they made those changes. Tala Tonga was on the show tonight. He was there with Solo. He got involved. He got put through the announce table and everything. He looked fine. So it's not like Tala Tonga's hurt kind of thing, because he was physical tonight. Ricky Saints, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But as far as this match goes, everyone's in the ring. Penta, Solo, Carmelo, Oba comes down. Oba comes down, strut, right? And he stops at the end of the ramp. He kind of looks up at the ring, and he gets up on the apron. Carmelo Hayes runs at him, and he just knocks Carmelo down with the right hand. And takes down Solo, takes down Penta, and he looks like a monster. There's a running uppercut to Hayes and Penta on the opposite corners, but Solo intercepted Oba. The right hand from Femi sent Sikoa out of the ring. Meanwhile, Penta and Hayes fought inside the ring. There's a Penta driver attempt connected by Hayes, who turned it into a no-look fadeaway leg drop for a near fall. Penta, though, kicked out. After a commercial break, Hayes and Penta exchanged chops in the middle of the ring to Yahoo spots, while Sikoa stepped inside the ring and hit both men with a clothesline. They told us that during the break, Solo had disposed of Femi by throwing him into the steel steps, which allowed him to briefly gain control. However, Femi did get up, stepped inside the ring, and hit Solo with a clothesline. There's a super kick by Sikoa that was followed by a first 48 by Hayes, as Femi missed a running shoulder attack. Outside the ring, Sikoa and Tala Tonga threw Femi into the ring post. Fatal four-way, so no DQ. Follow this with a rough-looking running big boot that barely sent Femi over the barricade. The tope con heel by Penta onto Solo, but Hayes then got him with a Fosbury flop. Back inside the ring, Sikoa noticed Obafemi rising from the barricade as the big man took out Tala Tonga with the big boot. Back suplex through the announce table as well. He then sent Solo Sikoa flying across the ring. Femi then finished him off with a fall from grace and pinned Solo 1, 2, 3. So coming off of Clash in Italy, and the way they had Roman and Solo staring each other down, and Roman's like, I got something for you, Solo. I got something for you. I thought we were going to get some sort of confrontation with them. I thought, you got to keep Solo strong. No, Solo took the goddamn pin. I was shocked. I was shocked that Solo took the pin. I thought Carmelo Hayes would take that pin. And no, what's the word I'm looking for? Acknowledgement or anything of Roman towards Solo or any of the MFTs or any of that, which is weird because literally it's how the show ended, with Roman staring over at Solo saying, I got something for you. I got something for you. And then walking out. And so to have Solo on this show, like it'd be different if Solo wasn't here. To have Solo on this show and Roman not say anything after that, kind of weird. Kind of weird in my opinion. After the match, Femi took a mic, told Brock Lesnar, you question if I could take an ass whooping. Well, look at me. I took an ass whooping. I got my ass kicked 7 F5s, and I'm still standing here after taking your best shot. He then promised he would win the King of the Ring and noted, Brock, we're 1-1. I'll see ya down the line. We're going to recap of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker's history. And basically, those two will be facing off in the main event. So Ruka was seen walking to the ring. And meanwhile, Maxine Dupree was once again chatting with Austin Theory in the background. More on her later. So Ruka, excuse me. So Ruka came down to the ring for a Women's Intercontinental Championship celebration. The new Women's Champion was introduced to a great ovation to the crowd. Ruka entered the ring as she took the mic from Kathy Kelly. Got ready to ask her question. Ruka was congratulated on her win, and she was asked if she had thoughts about standing here as the champion after just joining Raw months ago. Ruka said that she believed that she could become a champion one day. But most importantly, all the fans believed in her as well. On the bottom of her heart, she told the fans in Italy simply, grazie. The cheering crowd then erupted in cheers because she said a word in our language. Ruka then gave props to Becky Lynch, stating that she gave her a chance to test herself against, well, the very best. She proved Becky wrong. She said it wasn't just her saying it, everyone was saying it. Ruka said that, we deserve a fighting champion, and that's exactly what she would like to be. Ruka said that people might be ready to underestimate her, but at the end of all, anyone who steps up to her, they'll learn the same thing Becky learned last night. So Ruka is, and still, your Women's Intercontinental Champion. I thought it was a solid promo to get her over as the new champion. Nothing special, but I think it worked. Then we got footage from after PLE, Cody running into Roman. The two shared some tense stare down. Elsewhere, Roman was watching this and gave Jay orders, hey, go win that King of the Ring and take his title. You've had this one. That one's different. Or something like that is what he said. I'm paraphrasing. Basically, he told Jay, you've had my belt. Now go win King of the Ring and beat Cody at SummerSlam to feel what having that belt means. Basically saying, that's the more important belt. As Jay left, Reigns pulled Jimmy aside and told him that Jay needs to do this alone. So it's like, hey, we're a family. We work together. Jay needs to earn this by himself. Within that tag team action, it was Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against Ethan Page and Rusev. Solid little TV match. Nothing special, but solid. Page and Dragon Lee got this match going early on as the latter ducked the former's attempted grapple. Rusev then tagged in, took a chop from Dragon Lee. This was followed with a foot choke along the bottom ropes on the defenseless Dragon Lee, who eventually got knocked down. Page then re-entered the match and kept punching at Dragon. Powerbomb attempted by Page was reversed into a Hurricane Rana into the corner. There's an over-the-top wrecking ball drop kick on Page by Dragon, followed by a running drop kick for a near fall. Page then got sent into the ropes as Rusev tagged in. Dragon Lee not aware. Rusev ambushed him. Roll him up for a pin. No avail. Rusev. I think we lost connection again. Give me 1 second, guys. I think we might be back. Let me check something really, really quick. I don't know what happened and why my modem keeps messing up on me. Keeps resetting on me. But we're live. We're good. We're going. So back to this match. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Never mind. Where was I? There's a loud ovation as Mysterio was tagged in. Page took him down from the apron. Rusev got wind of this and grabbed Dragon for a spinning slam. As we kind of like took a timeout, go to a break or whatever. Coming back from the break, Dragon sent Rusev over the top rope to the outside, and Ethan had to stop him with a leg drop. At one point, Rusev threw Dragon Lee into the corner, but that allowed Dragon to hit Page for the forearm. Rusev's attempt to play defense was stopped as the super kick floored his foe. Both Rusev and Dragon Lee were down. They headed to their respective corners and made the tag. Mysterio then stormed in with an enziguri on Page, followed with a senton and a springboard press. 1, 2, Page, though, kicks out. There's a big boot by Page that stunned Mysterio as Rusev stepped into the ring and found himself sent out of the ring by Mysterio's Hurricane Rana. One point, Page sent Mysterio into Dragon Lee as the roll-up was kicked out of at 2 by the veteran Mysterio. Mysterio's Hurricane Rana was turned into a Boston Crab, though, but Dragon broke up the hold. Dragon then sent Rusev into Page with a Hurricane Rana as he flew into the Bulgarian, the Tope Suicida. Excuse me. Mysterio then connected with the 619. Splash. 1, 2, 3. Ray and Dragon pick up the win. Hey, Luke's in the live chat. Couldn't be here with us on the stream today, but it says I'm celebrating my 2-year mod anniversary. Hell yeah, Luke. Great to see it. Great to see it. Hopefully we got you back next week. But yeah, like I said, solid TV match. Nothing special, but it was fun. All 4 guys worked well together. Adam Pearce spoke with Penta and basically just said, hey, that match you want with Ray, it's coming soon. I think he said next week, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think he said next week, but I wasn't 100% sure. LA Knight then confronted Pearce, was upset about the recent bloodline love, and stated that Pearce was playing favorites with Roman. Knight took note of Pearce putting up the ones and stating it made him sick. I didn't see Pearce put up the ones, so I don't know what he's talking about. There was a highlight reel from Noches de los Grandes, or however you say it. Mask versus Mask. Again, we're getting that after this. Great match. Great match. Great match. Then we had our first Queen of the Ring match. It was Io Sky, Roxanne Perez, Julia, and Lash Legend. Luke says, I'm back next week. Awesome to hear it. He said, had no clue Raw started early. Yeah, Raw was at 1. Actually, let's double check. Let's see if Raw's early next week, too. It might be. Go to WWE's website. Let's go to lineups. So SmackDown is early on Friday. Raw is also early from Paris, France next week. So Raw is early next Monday as well. And then the following Friday, they're back in the States, Providence, Rhode Island. So one more early Raw, one more early SmackDown. So Roxanne, Sky, and Julia went after Lash Legend early on, trying to take the bigger woman down. Julia was caught by Lash Legend, but a Sky drop kick took her down. Perez struck Sky from behind and battered her with some punches, but soon found herself with hit with some strikes. Sky got sent out of the ring by Perez as Legend came back in the ring and took her out. There was a guillotine by Julia on Legend, but she was placed on the top turnbuckle. Legend held Sky and Perez, but a drop kick from the top rope by Julia took everybody down. We go to commercial break. When we come back from the break, Julia and Perez drove Legend into the steel steps as the former hit a drop kick on the stunned Legend. Perez and Julia apparently had an alliance going on before. Well, it didn't really work out that well because Perez turned on Julia, slamming her head first into the commentary table. Perez was then hit with a shotgun drop kick by Sky, who began to stir as the pace picked up. There's another drop kick from Sky as Julia joined in the fray. Double missile drop kick by Sky. In the corner, Perez went for a pop rocks. It was stopped by Sky as she headed up top looking for an over the moonsault. Julia intercepted her and had a double underhooks. Perez recovered and joined the fray. This led to Lash Legend also recovering and getting both Julia and Perez up for a double powerbomb. Lash extension on both Julia and Perez as well before Sky stomped down, to break the count. Sky then picked up the victory over the moonsault, pinning Julia. So Io Sky does advance into the next round of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Then we have more Maxine Dupree. She was actually upset with Adam Pearce about being, quote, overlooked for the Queen of the Ring. She thought she should be in this tournament. And Pearce is like, if an opening does come up for some reason, I'll keep you informed. What? What do you mean if an opening does come up for some reason? Someone going to get hurt before their first round match? I don't know about that one. Pearce left. Otis pointed out that Dupree was talking to Austin Theory, reminding her that Theory was bad news. She stated she knew what she was doing. What was that, last week? She said he's misunderstood or something like that. We then got a video of Danhausen cursing and uncursing the New York Knicks and what that really means and how that's going to help them beat the San Antonio Spurs to win the NBA championship. I don't know about that one. The Spurs are good. Spurs are really good. I got Spurs. Maybe not in 4. Maybe in 5 or 6. But I don't think the Knicks beat the Spurs. I could be wrong. But I'm going San Antonio Spurs. Granted, they are my second favorite team. So, Lakers. But then after that, San Antonio Spurs. Because back in 2011 or whatever, I thought Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan were like a great trio. Those 3 together, holy shit. What was that like? 2011, 12, 10, that era. Kath Kelly interviewed Bayley and Lyra Valkyria backstage. The interview was interrupted when Valkyria took notice of Sol Ruca walking up. Pointed out how the stipulation of no longer being able to challenge for the title is, well, no longer there because Becky's not the champion. So she can challenge for the title now. And Bayley was a little confused. What are you confused about, Bayley? Lyra's just happy that she can challenge for the title again. Because the thing was, as long as Becky's the champion, Lyra can't challenge. So we got some stuff announced for next week's Monday Night Raw. A first round match in the King of the Ring tournament. Seth Rollins, Ricky Saints. Well, no, not Ricky Saints. It's going to be Seth Rollins. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no. So it's Seth Rollins, Royce Keys, Sami Zayn, and Javon Evans. I think Seth wins that. And then Queen of the Ring is Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, and Chelsea Green. I think Becky gets the win over Chelsea. I don't know who Seth pins. Maybe Seth can pin Sammy or Javon. But I think Becky and Seth both advance. Roxanne Perez was upset about her loss earlier, as Liv Morgan talked about how her and Dominic become king and queen. There's a little tension between Roxanne and Liv. So we'll see where that leads to. And then we go to our main event. Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. This is a really good main event. I thought this was good. It was a little long, but I thought it was really good. As far as this match does go, the crowd was singing Seth's song as he came down to the ring and stared down Braun Breaker. Rollins was forced into the corner by Breaker early. Former world champion responded by punching away at Breaker. But he was thrown across the ring with a German suplex. Rollins responded with a sling blade, followed by a clothesline. Rollins then kept the momentum going with a pair of suicide dives. On the third attempt, Breaker caught him and sent him over the barricade and into, I guess you would say, people at ringside. What a commercial break. When we came back from the break, Breaker grabbed Rollins by the chin and mocked him. He paid for what he was doing there with an open hand strike from Rollins that sent him into the corner. Breaker answered with a German suplex that forced Rollins out of the ring. At ringside, Breaker drove a knee into the gut of Rollins before throwing him into the ring post. Breaker then launched himself for a high flying elbow to the face of Rollins. Breaker then smashed Rollins' face repeatedly on the face of the Italian, face first on the Italian commentary table. Rollins was then sent back into the ring. Breaker caught him and got him lifted up for a military press. Rollins, though, countered it and hit a reverse neck breaker. Rollins then went to the top with Breaker trying to recover. Breaker then cut him off and punched him in the corner, top rope. This led to a Frankensteiner on Rollins. That wasn't enough to put the Rollins away. Breaker then had Rollins dead to rights next to the commentary table, but there was a dive that was intercepted with a clothesline that also took us to yet another commercial break. After the break, Breaker punched at Rollins in the corner, but he got lifted in position for a sit-out powerbomb. There's another kick out from Breaker. He actually spilled to the floor yet again as Rollins pulled the steel steps and put Breaker on them. Rollins then ascended to the steps, but took too long and Breaker got up and knocked him down. We go back to the ring. Breaker ascended to the top rope, was intercepted by Rollins, who hit him with a superplex and a Falcon Arrow roll through. Again, Breaker managed to kick out. Rollins then hit Breaker with a super kick. There's a curb stomp, but Breaker got him with a pop-up spear. Rollins then rolled out of the ring as Breaker confronted him. Excuse me, I got the burps all of a sudden. And placed him on the announce table. Breaker then looked for a spear from the other announce table. Rollins reversed into a pedigree through the announce table. Back in the ring. Well, they fought. Actually, I just missed a whole paragraph here. Here we go. Rollins then hit another pedigree on Breaker, but it wasn't enough to keep Breaker down. Rollins again had Breaker in position for a stomp, but Austin Theory tried to interfere. He got sent over the top rope as Breaker missed a spear. Stomp from Rollins, but there was nothing to it as the Theory got in. I wrote this way weird. There's a stomp from Rollins, and Theory hit him with the tag title belt. Montez Ford then ran down, leaped over the barricade, and took out Theory with a spear. Oh, took out Theory, but then got speared from Breaker. I wrote that whole paragraph weird. In the ring, Breaker got Rollins with a spear, but that wasn't enough to keep Rollins down as he kicked out. Rollins went for the stomp. Paul Heyman put the boot of Breaker on the bottom rope. Referee didn't see Paul Heyman do it, even though I'm like, how did you not? You were looking right at him. How'd the ref not fucking see that? So stupid. Heyman kept taunting Rollins, going, you can't keep him down. You're the former leader. He was talking shit. Rollins then got in Heyman's face as Breaker looked to hit Rollins with a super spear. But, well, Rollins moved, and he put Paul Heyman through the barricade into the timekeeper's area. Meanwhile, Rollins grabbed the World Tag Title and put it around his waist. Braun Breaker went for a spear, but speared the belt. Kind of like Bret Hart with the metal plate. Seth hit him with one final stomp and pinned him 1, 2, 3. He then looked over and acknowledged Montez Ford for helping him before raising the ones and acknowledging that he wants to go for Roman Reigns after he wins the King of the Ring. So yeah, really good main event. It was long, I will say that. How long was it? Do we have a time? See if Cage Match has a time. Seth Rollins Cage Match. Because that match felt long. I mean, it went through, there's no way it was only 12 minutes. It went through 2 commercial breaks, and it was 12 and a half minutes. It felt way longer than that. Way longer than that. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Monday Night Raw. Pretty good Monday Night Raw. Better than we've been getting, I will say for sure. With that, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of the show. As we go and refresh all the polls. Boom. 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 As far as the Threads poll does go, 59% liked Raw, 35% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. Now, again, these polls are going to be kind of meh because maybe not everybody has seen the show yet. Like, let's see. Everybody that voted on Twitter said it was just all right. As far as the community poll does go, 77% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. The person said it is the worst Raw I've ever seen. Get the fuck out of here, you idiot. The Bloodline versus the MFT storyline was a failure. Well, okay, we didn't get any of that tonight, so shut the fuck up. And finally, the live poll, 91% liked the show, 9% thought it was just all right. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Have a great night, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.